Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm your host, David Tear, where I've been featuring my personal top 3,000 songs of the rock era from 1954 to 1999. Today I'm up to song number 2916. It's kind of a mouthful. It's Cupid slash I've Loved You for a Long Time, which is a medley by the Spinners from 1980. And the Spinners have a very long history. They got started in 1954 in Ferndale, Michigan. Here's a picture of them early on, and I guess it took them a while for them to really get going. They had a lot of hits though. They had a total of 18 top 40 hits on Billboard, including seven top tens. The first top 40, I believe, was in 1961. That's what Girls Are Made For. I'm only going to list their top tens. I think all their top tens made my list, by the way. So their top tens included the first was called "I'll Be Around" that came out in '72. The next was Could It Be I'm Falling in Love in '73. '74 they had a song with featuring Dionne Warwick. It was called Dionne Warwick and the Spinners. Here's a picture of Dionne Warwick. Interesting. This was a number one song. It was the only number one for the Spinners as well as for Dionne Warwick. It was called Then Came You. That came out in '74. She actually added an E to her last name in '74. I'm not sure why exactly, but anyway, '75 they had Games People Play. I'll go back to the Spinners here. '76 they had the Rubber Band Man, and then in 1979 they had another medley called "Working My." It was a medley of "Working My Way Back to You" and "Forgive Me, Girl." I think they wrote "Forgive Me, Girl" themselves. Kind of interesting. They did the same thing with the song and feature today, but "Working My Way Back to You" was originally a hit by this group here, the Four Seasons, in 1966, and then the Spinners remade it in '79. Had a top 10 hit with it, along with "Forgive Me, Girl." Actually, I heard the Spinners version before I heard the Four Seasons version. I loved the Spinners version when I first heard it. And I think I even liked it better than the Four Seasons version, even after I heard the Four Seasons version. They're both on my list. I don't remember which one I put higher. They're both pretty excellent. And then in 1980 they had the one I'm featuring today, which is Cupid. I've loved you for a long time, and like working my way back to you. Cupid was another remake, originally done by Sam Cooke. I think he did a really beautiful version of this song. I mean, I think his original version is a classic, even though it went to number 17 on Billboard. It's one of my favorite hits of the rock era. I'm not going to tell you how high it got on my list, but it got very high, much higher than this one. And it was remade by a couple other artists. I think they just had minor hits with it, but I guess I forgot to put his picture here, but John Nash. I didn't put it. No, I think I forgot to put it. John Nash had a remake in '69, and then these guys did Tony Orlando and Dawn in 1976, and then finally the Spinners did in 1980. Cupid, I Love You for a Long Time. I kind of like how they did these medleys. I mean, they worked the other song of both of these medleys in seamlessly with the original one. So they start with a remake of Cupid. They kind of jazz it up a little bit. Kind of give it a little bit of, I guess, sort of maybe disco, or I don't know what you call it, kind of discofied R&B flair to it. And then they work into their own version of "I've Loved You for a Long Time." And they did the same thing with their previous song, "Working My Way Back to You." They worked in their own edition of "Forgive Me, Girl." So I think they did both of them really well. And I guess that's why this song's on my list, and I think it's a good song. And anyway, that's my profile on song number 2916 on my list, Cupid slash I've Loved You for a Long Time by the Spinners. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.